Hi, my name's Paula from Chic Emporium, and following my little road trip with Manda to Home Bargains, where I managed to pick up this gorgeous little baby angel. Look at that, I love it. It's just a bit cheap and nasty, but the actual shape of it is gorgeous. It was £2.49, and I want to see if I can transform it, creating a kind of stone paint effect so that it looks old and weathered and aged and like it's been out in the garden for a while. And yeah, that's what I'm going for today. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I've got two of my fairest chic colours, which is this one's called Aubrey, it's a kind of khaki green, and this one's called Elsa, and it's well, a beige, I suppose. And I like the two together. It kind of gives stone and moss and so on. I've decanted some into an old dish. You can see it's got old paint in it. That's dry at the bottom, but those two are fresh. And I'm going to just use my brush to slowly but surely cover all of my lovely little angel. I'm sort of mixing the two colours in together. Can you see? So I'm just literally dabbing across the middle, getting both colours onto my brush and giving her a full coat. Because it's chalk paint, it just sticks straight away. I haven't had to prime it. It will be absolutely fine. And it's already turning into a lovely colour. Look at that, really nice. Those two colours work really well together. So, oh, I'm covering her face up. She's got a green face. Look guys, I've killed her. Anyway, I'm going to carry on doing a full coat in exactly the same way all over the whole of the little angel. Okay, and I'll come back and show you when that's all finished and dry. Right, so here she is in all her glory. I think she looks really lovely, this colour. I tried to keep the darker green inside, as if sort of mimicking the shadow really, and keeping the light on her face, but really it's very hit and missy how I've done it. You could do this. So this is the first stage, and what I'm going to do now is add some crackle. Now a lovely friend of mine sent me this crackle, and she lives in Germany, so I don't know if you can even get this in the UK. Fair Chic does its own brand of crackle, so if you want to have a go at this technique, you can certainly order these products from me. There's a link in the comments to my website where you can order these things if you're in the UK. But this is vintage paint crackle effect, Jeanne d'Arc Living. So I'm going to, she highly recommends it, so I thought it would be fun to have a go. Now, there we are, it looks quite yellowy in the tin. So what you do with crackle, it doesn't look like it needs a stir, no, it looks okay, is put it on really quite liberally, so as if it was gloss. So just at the point of kind of running, but not running. So you have to be quite generous with it to get a decent crackle. So literally, as you can see, if it does drip, mop it up. Don't want drips of crackle. So I'm going to cover her, which is obviously a bit fiddly because she's not a flat surface, in this crackle, and then I'm going to properly dry it off with a hairdryer to speed up the process. But you can't get on with crackle, get on with the next stage until the crackle is thoroughly dried. So it's going to leave a little bit of a sheen. You can see it's slightly darker. That's okay. So I shall come back when she's completely covered, crackled and dry. Okay, see you in a bit. Right, so here she is. She's looking a bit shiny. She's feeling a bit warm because she's had a hairdryer on her. She's looking a bit snuggled. You can easily see where you've put the crackle and where you haven't, because you get this kind of shiny coating, and it's slightly darker, so you can go back over. So it's been a bit fiddly because obviously she's all curves. Now the next stage is the fun stage, because this is where we get to see the crackle. So crackle is a very special substance that you could leave it like that for days and not do anything with it, and then do the next stage and it would activate still. So it stays in situ as its component right now. Now if you were to add paint, which is obviously wet, on top of it right now, it would start quacking and it would activate the crackle. And of course, painting, it's a natural instinct to paint back over and over the same to get equal coverage. Now if you do that with crackle, it messes up, because it starts activating immediately and you start losing the crackle and getting more clumps and bumps, so you don't want that. Now you can do it with a paintbrush, but you need to be really self-disciplined and not going back over the area you've just done. I have found a really good technique to avoid the immediate assumption of going back and forth, is to use a sponge. Now on a flat surface it's obviously fine. I buy bags of makeup sponges from Primark that are, you know, 50p or something, and cut them up. This one I've just torn a bit off the corner and I have attached it to an old rubbish paintbrush. I literally shoved it in, worn it in. So I'm going to use the end of that brush, sponge even, to dab and poke into the crevices the new layer of paint. Now I'm going to, usually with crackle, you put one colour underneath, then you put crackle, and then you put a different colour on the top to reveal the colour underneath through the cracks. But for this stone effect, I'm going to be using exactly the same colours, exactly the same paint over the top. So I'm going to use my homemade sponge on a stick, and obviously if you're doing a flat surface you don't need to put it on a stick, but I've got to get into all these sort of dips. So I'm going to literally, using quite liberal amounts of paint, go over the crackle, but not doing this motion, going up and down rather than. And as it dries, the crack effect will start to show. So you want to have quite a lot of paint on your sponge. Now you can let it dry naturally, or you can speed up the process with a hairdryer. It's entirely up to you. It's going to be difficult to see the full effect until it's dried, because there is exactly the same colour going on, so it doesn't look like much is happening, but it will. I have faith. Do you have faith? I've done this before. So I will carry on, you can see what I'm doing, in exactly the same way, all the way around. See, there is some repeating, and it's okay because I'm going up and down, not because I'm not going up, sweeping it like you would a paintbrush. Okay, so I'll carry on, dry it off with a hairdryer, and then show you close up what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like so far. Okay, see you in a bit. Right, here she is. Now this technique of putting the same colour over the top of the crackle, over the top of the same colour, if that makes sense, doesn't give you a crack. It gives you this gorgeous stone effect. Can you see? Really, like, it looks old, it looks weathered. Really, really like that. Now what I'm going to do to finish this off is add some dark wax, some black wax and some white wax. So obviously the dark is going to go where the shadows would be, deep inside there. And I'm going to use these just tiny old brushes to poke it in and sort of spread it around a bit, and then put some highlights on the top. So literally dipping tiny amounts of wax into the dark recesses of her, just to give her the definition, the 3D. And that already hoping you're going to be able to see this. I'll just do this little line and show you. So I'm just using the brush to smudge and blend it in, so you don't get, that's the nice thing about wax, is that you can do that. You could do the same with a watered down black paint. I think that would be fine, even if it was acrylic, that would be fine. And just use your brush too. But I'm hoping you can see just that little bit there. It's just bringing some depth to her. So I'm going to carry on working round, and then I will show you the finished beauty that she is. Now can you see in there, you can see there's a little bit of shine. That's where I've missed painting over the crackle, so I need to make sure that the wax goes over that, so that because we definitely don't want shine. Shine's not good, not good with old. Okay, so I'm going to carry on working with my dark wax. This is a Homestead House product. You can get lots of dark waxes from different places. So I shall carry on and show you her in all her beauty. I just wanted to show you, before I've finished, the difference of using either black wax or a watered down paint. You know, don't go buy best special things, use what you've got. But this is, I've put the black just under each layer of feathers and smudged it down, and I haven't done it on this side. And can you see the difference? The natural shadow, I think it really works well. And then I shall use some white. Again, you can use paint, use some white just on the little tips of the feathers to bring them to life. I've already worked quite a lot on the inside, and where all the crevices are, you know, which you'd expect to be dark, I've put dark to bring her to life. So I'll carry on, but I just wanted to show you the difference of working out where to put the dark. It's wherever you would expect to see the shadows, the underneath, but it's really brought the feathers out 3D rather than this sort of blur. Okay, I'll show you when I've finished. Oh my goodness, she is beautiful. I've taken quite a lot of time in making sure that the dark is dark, making sure that all the bits that are underneath, I feel like I know her intimately. But isn't she gorgeous? And her feathers, look, all the dark down there, down the centre where the crease and the shadows would be, and the white. She does not look like the cheap white. It's not plastic, I don't know what it is, but she does not look like that anymore. She looks like she's been around a long time, protected by the weather. I love her. I really, really love her. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed doing it, and I hope you'll have a go at this stone technique. You can use any chalk paint colours, you can use any brand of crackle, but if you want to try mine you can, the link's below. And you can use white and black wax, but if equally you could use white and black paint watered down to give you the dark and the shadow in it. That will work fine. Obviously it needs sealing, so that will be the last stage. I've got matte finish, another product that I sell. I would put clear wax on it, but it's probably going to go outside, so I shall use matte finish to protect it and keep her safe. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more of this. This was £2.49 from Home Bargains, my shopping trip with Amanda. If you want to see what she did with her cushion that she purchased, pop on over to her channel. Make sure you subscribe there too. The links are in the comments. You can get straight across there and see what she did, and we've got plenty more where that came from. We're absolutely loving this bargain hunting and changing something very cheap into something really quite beautiful. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.